This is Denis Campbell with Worldview. With apologies, please, to Keith Olbermann, the former anchorman of Countdown with both MSNBC and Current, I'd like to offer a special comment on the gun culture in the United States. It's been a really horrific couple of weeks since the shooting in Newtown, and now the debate is getting even crazier. My birth country has gone stark raving mad. Friends across Europe ask me the same question. Are there really that many guns in the USA? My answer never varies. There are more. Living in a Welsh village has advantages. My kids go to school without guards and metal detectors, and there are virtually no guns in Europe. Most UK police, except for SWAT or other special units, don't even carry firearms. Compare and contrast that with the US, where in order to even enter a school building, one must navigate locked doors, buzzers, metal detectors, and are monitored almost always by CCTV camera. And yet that's not enough. There are calls now to arm teachers, administrators, even janitors, and post armed guards on the property. Wingnuts, urged on by Fox News and the Republican GOT party, completely off of its rocker, are gobbling up assault weapons at a dizzying rate. Said a Midwestern gun shop dealer to a New York Times reporter, "If I had 1,000 AR-15 rifles, I could sell them in a week." The AR-15 is the assault weapon Adam Lanza killed 28 people with, including himself, in Newtown, Connecticut. Gun nuts rationale? I'm defending my Second Amendment rights. And the government is once again so cowed it will likely throw up its hands in defeat on renewing an assault weapons ban in the USA for fear of the NRA. That's the National Rifle Association. Now, if these Second Amendment rights are rights, does anyone understand that an amendment is something added to change an original document, in this case the US Constitution? I know I don't want people from 235 years ago telling me how to live my life in 2013. Worse, we allow legislatures and judges to look into a crystal ball to try and divine for their own political gain what was really meant back in 1787. The framers of the Constitution and their strict intent is what we hear referenced over and over again as the justification for doing nothing that was not specifically prescribed word for word in that sacred text. What? Was it carved in stone tablets by the hand of God and brought down from Mount Philadelphia? Perhaps it was Charlton Heston playing Moses who did all this? Now the framers, they did an excellent, thoughtful job crafting the original document. Are we now to believe they gazed into the future and predicted today's technology? Does anyone believe the framers foresaw the day where single-shot muskets, which took several seconds to reload, would be replaced by semi-automatic rifles shooting 4 to 5 rounds a second? Now gun advocates threaten that any new measures could foment the next American Revolution. Some recommend armed insurgency to protect their guns, and it just gets sillier by the minute. An Ohio school board voted to arm their janitors. A Utah town wants to make it mandatory for everyone to carry handguns, even in classrooms. What could possibly go wrong there? Utah state law does allow teachers to carry concealed weapons, so anyone who has a special permit card can do that without telling the parents and teachers that the teachers in their child's school are armed? How did 3 million NRA members armed with an insane amount of cash get to bully 330 million Americans? Who needs an AR-15 and 100 bullets to hunt Bambi? 100 rapidly fired bullets won't just kill that deer, it'll vaporize it. And where's the sport in that? I'm frequently asked if I'll ever live in the US again. My answer's not likely. Why would I put my kids in armed camp schools when our village and local schools focus on educating versus handgun training? Why would I exchange politely flashing my headlamps to allow another car to pass on the roadway for the too real possibility of dying from a road rage gun? I moved to Europe for love. I've stayed 15 years because I love the way people look out for each other. But that's derisively called socialism in the US. Well, so be it. Here's my real question. Why would I return to a nation that has lost its ability to care for those without means, what used to be its heart and its soul? America was once the most caring nation in the world. Now it slaps a flag pin on everything and says support our troops without any real sense of sacrifice. It too is for show. And having spent 40 years there, I'm truly gutted by all of this. The cesspit of corruption fueled by resigned voter apathy is so bad even actor Jackie Chan last week called the U.S. the most corrupt nation in the world. It wasn't always that way. It can change in an instant. People must stop letting the wingnut with the loudest voice win. You must stand for something. Otherwise, you stand for nothing.